So surprisingly, a lot of people stayed to watch that intro. Like over 50% of the retention was kept during the intro part of episode 270, which blows my mind because there was literally nothing going on the entire time. So maybe it was just a curiosity factor. You guys stuck around. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But yeah, with that said, welcome to Setup Wars episode 271, the show where we show off some of the coolest and craziest setups in the world. If you guys want to have your setup featured on the show, make sure to watch the video link down below. But with that said, sit back and relax, because you know what time it is. Yeah, you do. Don't you guys wish there was one RGB software to control all of your devices? How awesome would that be? Well, actually that already exists. Signal RGB lets you control and sync your favorite RGB devices from any brand with one application. Signal RGB is a free RGB platform driven by the community with support for over 170 of the best RGB devices from leading brands like Razer, Corsair, SteelSeries, and more. No more will you have to settle for the same brand of gear just to use the same software. With Signal RGB, you can finally go with the gear you've always wanted. The software is really easy to use. Once you have it installed on your PC, it will automatically detect all the compatible devices you have connected to it. You can then customize the lighting however you want. You can select from a bunch of preloaded effects from the dashboard screen, or you can even make your own from scratch. Some examples include having the lighting mirror the content that's on your monitor, which is awesome if you're watching movies. Now, if you're listening to music, you can have the lighting react to the beats. And my personal favorite is the game integrations, where you have the lighting react to the actual gameplay. This is pretty damn sweet, so check this out. So let's say you're playing CSGO. You can have the lights turn red once the bomb is planted, and if you end up winning the match, you can set the colors to green. Or if you play Minecraft and lose some health, you can customize the lights to blink red when that happens. I mean, these are just a few examples of what you can really do. I highly recommend this if you guys are tired of using a bunch of different software to control the lighting in your setup. Definitely check them out by visiting my link below and see if your devices are supported. They are also constantly adding support for new devices all the time. Well, that was fast. We were literally talking about Kyle's setup like 2 episodes ago, and well, here is the updated setup in his new home. I am absolutely loving the new direction with the neutral white colors, which also allows him to change up the color scheme to anything he wants. I think the setup looks bombastic. This has to be the fastest turnaround time I have ever seen on Setup Wars. Welcome back to the show, my guy. So much of the gear is the same, so I won't go over everything, but we do have a new monitor layout. Looks like he flipped the vertical display over and picked up a new desk. He's now rocking the Ekback in marble countertop with 2 Alex units. The peripherals are also the same, but he swapped the keycaps with some white ones to better match the theme, and he picked up a nicer looking white mouse pad. All really nice upgrade choices. Some of the gear from the previous setup were already white, like the speakers, so it made the transition over pretty easy. Of course, we got to show off the cable management to give Kyle a chance to redeem himself from the last submission, and as expected, everything is under control. I didn't doubt you for a second. The biggest upgrade from before has to be the PC though. He did swap the case entirely to something nicer, the Lee & Lee O11 Dynamic, which looks so much better in the setup. You definitely made some really nice small upgrades since the move, and it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you, Kyle, for coming back on. Simple yet effective is how I always like it, especially in the bedroom. Chris from North Virginia shows us how you can build a badass gaming setup by sticking to the basics. No flashy 3D panels or triple monitors required, just the essentials to get you into gaming the quick and easy way. We got a single 38-inch ultrawide from LG that is used for both gaming and productivity. He's got that mounted on a single Carly countertop and 1 Alex unit for some storage. For peripherals, he did state that he's currently building a custom Tokyo 60% keyboard, but in the meantime, he's rocking the GMMK Compact with putting keycaps and the Logitech G Pro wireless mouse. He kept things very simple on the surface. We do have a HyperX Quadcast microphone for input and a soundbar headphone combo for output. Cables are managed pretty good for the most part thanks to the giant rack underneath, but it does look like some of the cables are too short, resulting in some diagonal routing that is visible from above the desk. Let's see how many Lee & Lee PC builds we can spot in today's video, guys. This is 2 for 2 so far. We got a 10900K paired with an ROG Strix 3090 OC edition. Could you get more juicier than this, ladies and gents? I'm going to assume that you couldn't get your hands on a white 3090 Strix, but other than that, a beautiful selection of parts for a system and a beautiful setup you got here. Thank you, Chris, for sharing this with us. Here's a really cool setup that's done right with those 3D art panels that we see so much of lately. I feel like if you're gonna go with these, you have to fully commit and cover up the entire wall so it looks nice. You have to treat these as a wallpaper. You know, you wouldn't cover up just half the wall, right? Burke is a game developer from Turkey that built the setup for gaming and game developing. It's crazy to see how much progress the setup has made from the very beginning. He stayed motivated over the years and kept grinding until he had enough to build his dream setup. It's built on a few Alex units and a Linman with a tempered glass top that he added to prevent bending or scratching the desk. We have a 34-inch curved as the main display with a 22-inch in vertical mode for multitasking and Discord, and below that we got the Moto Speed keyboard and a G502 mouse. I do like the custom mousepad that he designed to match the custom wallpapers, and it also blends in nicely with the art panels in the back. I love seeing this level of custom work implemented into setups. Even if it's simple stuff like doing a custom wallpaper, I want to see it because this can give the people watching the show some ideas. Burke doesn't use any headphones with the setup, so he relies on the Logitech speakers for all of his audio needs and relies on his Beast custom PC to clap cheeks online. It's equipped with the Ryzen 7 2700X and the Gigabyte Vision RTX 3080. It looks so good inside that case alongside the rest of the components, and extra points for using a figurine to cover up the GPU sag bracket. I absolutely love the custom work that you've done here. Such an impressive gaming setup that you shared with us today. Thank you, Burke, for coming on the show. Speaking of custom work, I bet your booty hole that you haven't seen a setup covered with those RGB clouds, which apparently are the new hype. Well, Julian from Columbus, Ohio, which is also our setup spotlight for today, built a setup for gaming, schoolwork, and media consumption. When you break it down, it's basically a few Linman tabletops with a few monitors mounted against the desk. But what gives this the spice element is the RGB cloud that he installed on the walls. Yeah, maybe a little overboard, but for someone who's only 13, it just might be what he needs to be that popular kid in school with a badass setup. Normally, you can go on Amazon and buy these pre-built RGB clouds that all come with a remote, but this actually looks like it was custom made. It appears that Julian gutted a few stuffed animals from home and glued together the cotton material found inside to build this giant wall of cloud. You can even see the exact location of the RGB strip that was ran through the material. The execution isn't quite there as the light strips are visible, but it still turned out pretty cool. I mean, at least the kid put in some effort to change up the appearance of the setup, and for that I give him props. But I would put in some more attention to the cable work. I do like that you used a cable box for the power strip under here, but I wouldn't use tape to hold up the cables. And I'm not exactly sure what's going on here, but it looks like you built your very own custom raceway out of paper and some more tape. Yeah, don't do that. Use these cheaper raceways instead, which will also eliminate the need for you to keep that cable sleeve, and that way all the wires will be tucked underneath the desk more neatly. Also, your Xbox is on the floor for some reason when you have so much desk space up top. Your console is more prone to dust and dirt buildup if it's on the carpet compared to on a solid surface, so definitely move that on the top when you get a chance. Now, if you don't want it on the desk, you can always mount it underneath it using a third-party console mount. I think what you started here is pretty damn cool. It just needs a few tweaks to improve, but nonetheless, thank you, Julian, for sharing this with us. Leo might be just 1 year older than Julian, but he sure as hell knows how to put together a clean setup. It took him about 4 months to put everything together. We have a gaming setup on the left and a strictly studying setup on the right, away from all the distractions. We have an IKEA mom desk for the first half and two 27-inch monitors up top, the 75Hz for multitasking and the 144Hz for gaming. Moving on to peripherals, we got the Roccat Vulcan keyboard and a Logitech G502 Hero with clever cable routing using the monitor mount and a few cable clips. Excellent placement for those speakers, by the way. Adding a few simple wall shelves allows you to keep the speakers at an optimal location while freeing up extra space on your desk. Aside from the speakers, he does own a headset for gaming as well that he keeps underneath the desk, right next to those spotlights that he installed. These are a really smart idea, by the way, for anyone looking to add some quick lighting in dark places, like underneath your desk, for example. The rest of the cable management seems to be under control, and my guy even has a pencil drawer installed. I couldn't be more proud. You know what, let's hit him with the confetti. He deserves it. Finishing up with the custom H510 build. We got an i5 10600K in here paired with an MSI RTX 2060 Super. Very nice attention to details overall inside the PC and throughout the rest of the setup. This is textbook setup wars. I'm sure your mom and dad are really proud because I'm really proud. Thank you, Leo, for sharing this with us. As a reminder, you guys can always pick up a cheap Windows CD key for less than $15. Just click on my link below and use the code TS20 for an extra 20% off. Once you get your CD key, just visit the activation settings in Windows and change your product key. It's that simple. And that will do for today's video. As always, make sure you guys comment below. Let me know which of these setups was your absolute favorite and maybe letting me know why. If you guys are enjoying setup wars, maybe you consider tossing a like. It takes less than a second and it helps out the YouTube's algorithms. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll see you very soon in the next one.